The American film industry saw some interesting shifts in 2024. The Big Five studios still held the lion's share of the market. These studios are Disney, Paramount, Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers. Together, they controlled 67.63% of the US and Canadian market. This includes Puerto Rico and Guam. However, their dominance is slowly waning. In 2023, they held over 70%. This suggests a change is happening. New players are emerging. Streaming services are gaining ground. The industry is in flux. One factor is the rise of streaming. Netflix, Amazon, and Apple are producing more content. They are also attracting top talent. This means big-budget films are no longer exclusive to the Big Five. Another factor is the increasing cost of filmmaking. This is making it harder for smaller studios to compete. They simply don't have the resources to produce big-budget blockbusters. As a result, we are seeing more co-productions. This is where multiple studios share the costs and profits of a film. This trend is likely to continue in the future. Politics and Hollywood have always been intertwined. The re-election of Donald Trump in 2024 had a significant impact on the industry. Studios seem to align themselves with his conservative vision. The Motion Picture Association, MPA, was eager to work with the Trump administration. This was particularly evident in the area of censorship. The Trump administration was critical of Hollywood's portrayal of violence and sexuality. Studios, fearful of government intervention, began to self-censor. This led to a noticeable decline in the number of R-rated films released in 2024. Diversity and inclusion also took a hit. Many studios downsized their DEI departments. There were fewer films with diverse casts and crews. Some argue that this was a direct result of Trump's rhetoric on immigration and race. They claim that his presidency created a hostile environment for minorities in Hollywood. Others argue that this was simply a coincidence. They say that the decline in diversity was already happening before Trump's election. Whatever the reason, the fact remains that Hollywood became less diverse in 2024. While Hollywood felt the political heat, Georgia emerged as a filmmaking paradise. The state became a major player in film and TV production. This was due in part to its generous tax incentives. Georgia offers significant tax breaks for productions filmed within the state. This has made it a very attractive location for studios looking to save money. In 2024, Georgia ranked #1 in film production. The state hosted a whopping 273 productions. These included 25 feature films, 30 independent films, 166 television and episodic productions, 37 commercials, and 15 music videos. This boom in production has had a major impact on the state's economy. In fiscal year 2024, Georgia saw a staggering $2.6 billion spent on film and TV productions. This brought the total spent over the last 3 fiscal years to a staggering $11 billion. The film industry has created thousands of jobs in Georgia. It has also boosted tourism. Fans flock to the state to visit filming locations. Popular shows like Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, and Will Trent all film in Georgia. This has made the state a popular destination for film tourism. One trend that continued to dominate the box office in 2024 was advertainment. This is a term used to describe films that are essentially long commercials for toys, games, and other products. These films are often based on existing intellectual property such as comic books, video games, and toy lines. They are heavily marketed to children and families. Studios know that these films are guaranteed to make money. They are also relatively cheap to produce. This is because they rely heavily on special effects and CGI. This makes them less risky than original films, which are more expensive to produce and may not be as commercially successful. This trend is not without its critics. Some argue that advertainment is killing creativity in Hollywood. They say that studios are so focused on making money that they are no longer interested in making good films. They argue that this is leading to a decline in the quality of films being released. Others argue that advertainment is simply a reflection of the times. They say that in today's consumer-driven society, it is inevitable that films would become more commercialized. They argue that there is still room for creativity and originality in Hollywood, but that it is becoming increasingly difficult for these films to find an audience.